Good morning, class. We're here at a pharmacy as part of our studies into sexual reproduction. Our species faces problems regarding increasing population size and sustainability issues. However, as humans, we've gained knowledge of our own reproductive processes, and by understanding the human reproductive cycle, modern science has given us the ability to intervene, control, and prevent our own reproduction. Within our society, unwanted pregnancy is a major issue, and the main consequences can carry a large emotional and financial cost, not only upon the individual, but to others also. Come inside and we'll take a closer look at some different pharmaceutical products involved in contraception. Okay, so we're going to open up this drawer. That one. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so here we have some of the items found in a pharmacy that are used for contraception. I'm just going to quickly go through them now. Starting here probably, we'll start with the condoms. Grade 11s, you'll have a worksheet with all the different methods of contraception here. So perhaps maybe you'd like to fill that in as we work through these items together. Also, I'll be referring a little bit to this diagram as well, and that's showing basically the female menstrual cycle and obviously the different changes that are taking place over the 28 days of that cycle. Alrighty, so first off we have condoms. Condoms are a barrier to stop insemination, that is, they stop viable sperm reaching an ovum or an egg. The pros of this, obviously they're convenient, you can use them anywhere, anytime, they're cheap, and there's no side effects associated with them. One of the downsides to them is that they could tear, and they must be used properly, of course. Moving over to here, we have an example of a combined oral contraceptive pill. When we say combined, we mean that there's two ingredients in there. So the first ingredient, levonorgestrel, and the second, ethinyl estradiol. Just as a handy hint, if you ever hear of a drug ending in estrel or TREL, trel, that normally indicates that it's a progestogen. Obviously science gives different drugs nomenclature, gives them names, just so that they're easy to identify. Now, estrogens often end in an IOL, so an IOL at the end. So the combined oral contraceptive pill, the pros with this one, it's relatively easy to take. You need to take a tablet every day. It's an effective form of contraception, and the good thing is if you do experience side effects while you're on the medication, you can easily stop taking that and have those effects reversed fairly quickly. One of the cons, obviously, is that you must take it every day. You must be compliant with your medicine. So that is, you need to take it according to the dosing regime. Okay. Now, the other type of contraceptive I'd like to show you, this one here, levonorgestrel. That one is just a straight progestogen pill. It's often called the mini pill. Okay, now progestogens, they work by basically thinning down the uterine lining. So the lining of the uterus gets thinner in the presence of progesterone. The other thing progestogen does is it also thickens the mucus to the cervix, so makes it more or less impenetrable to sperm. They can't get through. It thickens it up. So again, benefits of the mini pill is that it doesn't have the estrogen. So for breastfeeding women, that's a plus, because obviously estrogen drives up breast milk. So we get a lot of women who are breastfeeding going on the mini pill just to keep up their supply. Now, progestogen only pills, the other thing to mention with them is that there's a short window of action for missing a pill. So you have to be extremely compliant on them. If you forget to have your pill at the same time every day, you've got 3 hours, a 3-hour window in which you need to class that as a missed pill. And getting contraceptive cover on a progestogen only pill, it takes 14 days to get cover back. Okay, so that's one of the cons with it as well. Now, grade 11, I'm going to ask you to look at the diagram of the menstruation cycle. Now, grade 11, can you work out how the oral contraceptive pill works? I'm going to give you a few minutes to have a look at that diagram. And keeping in mind that oral contraceptives often use high progesterone levels and high estrogen levels, can you infer from this diagram how the pill works? Okay, I will give you a hint. If you have a look in the luteal phase, see what information you can gather from there. And take a moment. Okay, so we'll come back to that question at the end of the video and we'll see what our thoughts are. Moving on, here we have a depot injection. Now, if you've ever seen a lava lamp, you know that certain substances don't mix together. So in a lava lamp, you've got the blobs and the lava going up and down and not mixing together with the external substance. So this one here is a progestogen injection, and it works using that sort of principle of, you know, having a bit of a bolus injection, the drug not mixing. So the depot is a similar idea to that. It's an oily injectable, and it's delivered into the muscle tissue where it sits as a bolus, and it gradually leaches out progestogen into the bloodstream. One of the good things about this is that it lasts for 3 months. So every 3 months you go to your doctor and you have an injection, and that saves you from having to remember to take a tablet every day. The other thing to mention about it though is obviously once the injection is placed in your muscle tissue, it's very hard to remove that drug if you experience side effects. So that's one of the main drawbacks of it. Okay, but being a progestogen, this one's going to thicken up that cervical mucus and also keep the uterus lining thin. The next one here, we've got Implanon. So again, a drug ending in STREL, so we know that it's progestogen. Okay, so this one here gives a high rate of contraception cover, and the good thing about this one is that it's going to give us 3 years of coverage. Okay, so obviously the good thing is compliance. It's easy, that way you know you don't have to remember, it's not a daily thing to remember. But one of the drawbacks is that to use this, you need to go to your doctor and they need to cut the skin and actually put that implant under the skin and put a stitch or two into you to, you know, hold that inside. Now, if you do experience any side effects from this drug while you're on it, it's a bit of a pain to actually go back to the doctor and get that, you know, implant withdrawn or removed. Now, in our pharmacy, we don't have one of these, but basically this is a picture showing you how an intrauterine device works. So you can see the device here, it's inserted up through the cervix and into the uterus. So this inhibits sperm from reaching the fertilized egg, so there's like a barrier here blocking the tubes leading to the ovaries. The other thing that this particular device does is it's got progestogen in it. So what that means is it's going to thicken up the cervical mucus and also keep this lining nice and thin. So yes, 5 years coverage from this, which makes it very convenient. I guess the only drawback of this is sometimes the device will shift, and you've got to keep making sure that it's in the right position. Okay. Now, students, going back to our table, you can actually go and Google a few of these other options. So things like your diaphragms, obviously they're a barrier. Spermicides, they're toxic to sperm, so they kill off sperm cells. Now, spermicides are fairly effective, but as long as you use it with another form of contraception. So obviously a condom combined with a spermicide is going to give you a bit more effectiveness. I guess one of the drawbacks with spermicides is people often complain that they're very messy. Okay. Contraceptive patch. This one here is not available in Australia at present. Definitely overseas there is a contraceptive patch in use, but Australian regulative authorities haven't allowed the use of the patch to come into Australia or allowed it to be distributed here. Natural planning, you can also Google that. That's also known as the rhythm method, and that's basically contraception based on the times in a woman's cycle when they're least fertile, so having sex within those windows. And then you've also got sterilisation methods, so that's things like you might have heard of vasectomies or tube tying, so essentially stopping sperm or the production of an ovum. Okay, so class, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask me. I'll be with Miss Treadwell up until the 16th of November. So yeah, you know where to find me. Come and ask me some questions, and if you've got any concerns or you'd like a little bit more information about pharmaceutical products, feel free to come and see me. Thank you.